Hello, greetings Commanders 07 to everybody. We are continuing the tour of the galaxy. Right, so where we left off, we were in, where we left off in the last video, we were in the Acadian Stream sector, which is here. So I got to this point, found a number of new plant life. So I got these Electra or something like that. Docked at the fleet carrier. Before that, I think I also found some anemones. Well, they might have been here. Right, no, I haven't posted the pictures of the anemones yet. But yeah, we found some anemones. Anyway, I then flew to the next fleet carrier and took this screenshot. Just need to get that back up. And so, yeah, so that was the next fleet carrier. And seconds after taking that screenshot, the fleet carrier opened fire on me and destroyed me, destroying 2 months of data. And its excuse was I'm blocking a landing pad. So from that screenshot you can see it's very obvious that I'm blocking a landing pad. Yeah, so I was gutted about that. Anyway, we will continue. So I did a little bit more exploring after that yesterday, and found some yeah, a whole crater full of standing stones and a few bits of plant life. And then I started streaming Elder Scrolls, which is what that's from. Right, okay, so back to touring the galaxy. We are heading to the next fleet carrier, as always. So we are getting pretty close to the center of the galaxy now. So yeah, so I'd lost all the data from going around here, all the way around here, and up to here. So when I get to the center of the galaxy now, I'm only going to have this little bit of data, which isn't going to be very much at all. Anyway, we've got our route plotted, so back to the game. And we will continue.
Frameshift drive charging. Fuel scoping. Fuel scoping complete.
Right, so we are looking, as always, for Earth-like worlds, water worlds, and ammonia worlds. And there are none in this system, so we shall continue. Two very nice nebulas there in front of us. It's just 13 jumps to, I'm pretty sure the next destination was a fleet carrier, so 13 jumps will take us about 15-20 minutes. Unless we find a really interesting system, in which case it could take us the rest of the stream.
Fuel scoping. scoping complete. Warning, temperature critical. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one. Engage. Fuel scoping. System scan complete. Fuel scoping complete. Warning, temperature critical. Frameshift drive charging.
So we've got a nice blue nebula there and a sort of dark greeny brown one.
System scan complete. Fuel scoping. Fuel scoping complete. Warning, temperature critical.
Right, so there's just a star in the system, no planets.
Frameshift drive charging.
The sky is looking very full of bright stars at the moment. We are actually not heading towards the centre of the galaxy at the moment. We're actually sort of heading as a tangent to the centre of the galaxy. So yeah, we're not even looking at the centre of the galaxy and there are all those stars there.
Fuel scoping.
I often wonder if that's a bug, because if you look there,
Fuel
there's a
scoping
very
complete.
obvious line of high amount of stars on one side. It's almost as if, again, I've had this before when I've been around the centre of the galaxy. It's almost as if half the stars haven't loaded. So yeah, I'm pretty damn sure that the galaxy wouldn't have a very distinct line of stars on one side and not the other. And again, it's also along the plane of the galaxy, so I'm wondering if like a quarter of the stars haven't loaded yet. Right, so that's actually rocky, so that's not anything of interest.
Frameshift drive charging.
I've got somebody watching us, so welcome to the stream. If you missed the beginning, we are touring the galaxy. We are currently heading towards a fleet carrier in the Norma Arm of the galaxy. This fleet carrier is very close to the line straight from Sol to the core of the galaxy, to the center of the galaxy. So it could be a
Fuel scoping complete.
a highly visited region of space.
Warning, temperature critical.
We are not heading directly to the center of the galaxy, but we're getting pretty close to doing that. So at the moment we are following the spiral arms of the galaxy towards the center, looking for Earth-like planets and water worlds on the way. And yes, I think we've got, how many jumps is it now? 8 more jumps to get to the next fleet carrier. I think we've got 2 fleet carriers after that to visit, and then we are pretty much then heading directly towards the center of the galaxy. We're not that far from the center of the galaxy at the moment. Probably 100,000 light years. No, not for 100. Yeah, it could be 100,000 light years. Is that right? That sounds about no. That sounds too much. 10,000 light years doesn't sound enough. It could be 10,000 light years. Actually, yeah, 10,000 light years sounds about right.
Frameshift drive charging.
Actually, I'll just check on the map to see how far we actually are from the center of the galaxy. So, yeah, well, okay, we're actually just under 10,000 light years from the center of the galaxy. But the next fleet carrier we will be visiting will be just over 10,000 light years. So after this fleet carrier coming up, we'll be going to one that is slightly further away from the center of the galaxy, and
Fuel scoping.
yeah, so we will actually be heading away from the center of the galaxy after this next fleet carrier.
Fuel scoping complete.
Right, so we're just refueled from the star. We're getting away from the star now, and this is the map to see what kind of planets are in this system, and we're looking for planets in this range, which is currently empty. So we will just jump to the next star.
Frameshift drive charging. Fuel scoping. Fuel scoping complete.
I can see a number of planets in this system before I've even gone in and scanned it. So, although it says there's 46 bodies here, so unless there are 5 stars, it looks like somebody has scanned this system before. They're not fully scanned it though, so there are a lot of planets in here, but none that we are interested in. Let's just see if there were planets there. Yeah, so unless they're very close to the star, and I'll just scan them just by being close to them. It looks like this system has been visited before, but not fully scanned.
Frameshift drive charging.
So we're getting very close to that purple nebula there. It sort of looks like an explosion happened in the centre of that, which is, I suspect, the cause of most nebulas.
Ready to engage. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage. Fuel scoping. System scan complete. Fuel scoping complete.
So just 2 stars in this system.
Frameshift drive charging. Fuel scoping. Fuel scoping complete.
And again, I'm pretty sure they're rocky wheels, not Earth-like.
Frameshift drive charging. Fuel scoping. Fuel scoping complete. Warning, temperature critical.
We have a water world. Right. So when I find a water world, an ammonia world, or an Earth-like world, I scan the whole system, see what's there. I will then go and map the water world or ammonia world. If there's an Earth-like world, I'll map the entire system. And also, if there are any planets with atmospheres that I can land on, I will go and land on those, or go and map those. And so that's the water world. I'll go and map those, and if there's life on there, I will land on them and scan the life forms as well.
System scan complete.
Right, so that's a system scanned. Let's have a look now to see what planets we have. Right, so all the planets have atmospheres, but none of them can be landed on, so we'll only be scanning the water world. So the blue bubble around the planet is the atmosphere. We would see a blue arc around the planet as well if we could land on it. And if there were any man-made structures on those planets, we'd see blue arcs with little lines sticking out of them to indicate the number of settlements there are on the planet. Yeah, so when the planet is about the same size as the arc around it, we will be close enough to scan it, to map it rather. Yeah, we've already scanned it, so we know it's a water world. We just need to map it now to see, or to get the data for it, basically. There's a good view of the nebula there in the background.
Surface scanned by 50%. Surface scan complete.
Right, so that's all we need to do. So we now need to just plot the next star in our route and head off to that.
Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah, because we're getting closer to the core of the galaxy, the fleet carriers aren't quite so far apart. Also, the sectors are a little bit smaller because there's far more stars in them, so they take less time to pass, or less time to cross over.
Fuel scoping. Fuel scoping complete.
Dark Matter 44444, thank you for following. I'm assuming with a name like that you are an Elite Dangerous player.
Frameshift drive charging.
Right, so just 2 more jumps to get to the fleet carrier.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage. Fuel scoping. Fuel scoping complete.
So nothing in this system, so straight on to the next one.
Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah, I'm just checking the frame rate there, seeing how good that is.
Engage.
It's a lot higher when I'm not streaming. So I think OBS is reducing the frame rate by quite a bit, and also the avatar that's being rendered.
Fuel scoping. Fuel scoping complete.
Oh, that was a strange sound. I've not heard refueling get that loud before. Alright, so oh, it looks like we're in the system of the fleet carrier. Again, I'm presuming that signal source there is the fleet carrier. Right, let's see why they chose this system to be a fleet carrier system. Although, alright, okay, there are a lot of planets, 2 stars. Is there anything to with an atmosphere to land on? Nope, there's no Earth-like worlds. Right, so yeah, looks like we're just going to be landing at a fleet carrier here. There's nothing else to do in this system. Although it does look like pretty much every single planet has a ring around it, and again these Class Y dwarf stars also have rings around it. Right, okay, yeah, just go to the fleet carrier. Alright, there's 65 bodies in the system, so that's probably why it was chosen. That's considerably higher than the average. Right, it's a very bumpy looking planet.
Our carrier respects careful pilots. What's your speed at there?
Right, so the last fleet carrier I landed at, it open fired at on me because I was taking a screenshot of the nameplate. So I'm going to be a little bit more careful when I do that from now on. Right, the fleet carrier was a different layout to this one. I was basically parked. Let's see if this gives me a warning. I was basically parked equivalent of about here. I think something I've done probably about 20-30 times before, and this time it suddenly decided that I was actually trying to land, I was blocking a landing pad and it opened fire on me, so I'm getting no warning now. So that was almost exactly the same position relative to the landing pads I was yesterday, and yeah, this has not yet given me a warning. Right, okay, let's land.
Permission granted. A landing pad has been assigned to you.
Yeah, still have no idea why that fleet
Landing
carrier
gear deployed.
decided that where I was blocking a landing pad.
Landing successful. Commence shutdown. Enjoy your stay with us.
Right, so I always go to advanced maintenance and repair the ship integrity. I did a paint job as well, it doesn't really matter. Right, so I'm just going to be away for a second. So I'll be back in a minute. Right, okay, I'm back. So yeah, let's take off. Launch.
Ship release.
And we'll go and take
Speed until a carrier is far
a
behind you.
picture of the nameplate if I can find one. Right, okay, where is the nameplate? Oh, that's the front, so yeah, I think it's at the back on these. Now then. Which one gets the best view of that little planet?
Deck 7 is only accessible to personnel with amber level clearance until further notice.
Docking
Please
request
move away from the landing pad,
granted.
Commander.
Right, okay, that's suddenly decided that I'm
Landing gear retracted.
Clearance denied. Clearance granted. Move directly to your landing pad.
So it looks like fleet carriers are probably a little bit more fussy about where you are relative to the landing pads than they used to be. All right, let's take the screenshot quickly before it decides to open fire on me again. All right, I'll just move in a little bit. All right, I think that'll do. Turn the frame rate off, take a screenshot, and then move out of the way before I save it. Right, okay. Right, so when I save a screenshot, I save it as the name of the planet, and if it's a fleet carrier as well, I put the fleet carrier's name after it. So I don't want that, I want the system map. Right, that's the name of the planet. And the name of the fleet carrier. Right, so now we've got to plot a route to the next fleet carrier. And let me open up the map. Right, so I'll show you guys that as well. So right, so this is the map. So we are here. We will be going here. But I'll just have a quick look at to see what is between here and there. See if there's anything worth visiting. Alright, so we have a nebula there, another nebula there. Okay, I generally try and avoid nebulas because they've already been visited a lot. Oh, what's this green thing here? It's planetary features. Let's see if we have any. Right. As we're in the centre of the galaxy, I turn planetary nebulas on last because there are a lot of those, but they are generally speaking the most interesting things to actually go and visit. Right, so so we've got a few there directly on the way. So that one, let's see where that one is in the game. If it is too high off the plane, then I won't. I'll choose a different one. Alright, so it's roughly the same height as here. So it's minus 65, so that is fine, and we will plot that as our next destination. That's about halfway. It's about halfway between the two fleet carriers. And how far is that? 22 jumps. So 22 jumps is about half an hour, assuming we don't find anything. Right, so here we go, and we are heading towards a planetary nebula.
Frameshift drive charging.
And you're clear. Take care out there, Commander.
Oh, I've just noticed your
4, 3,
comment.
1. Engage.
So you haven't played Elite Dangerous in a year or so. Yeah, so again, I'm sure you're aware that the Elite Odyssey has been released recently.
Fuel scoping.
Although there are a lot of bugs in it, there is a lot of new content.
Fuel scoping complete.
And part of the new part of the reason I'm doing this tour is because the new content involves plants on planets that you can actually go and scan now. So you can get out of your SRV, go and scan plants on the planets. So you can get out your SRV and do on-foot combat as well.
Frameshift drive charging.
Now there are a lot of performance issues. I mean, again here, I'm only getting just about 60 frames a second, which for an RTX graphics card is pretty low, considering that I am in space and the only thing in front of me is basically the spaceship. That performance was pretty bad in combat zones, so I was getting down to like single-digit figures in frames per second, which for a first-person shooter is not really acceptable, but I think they have made a few improvements since I last done that, because I've been out on this tour now for 2 months, and there was an update on Tuesday, another quick patch yesterday to fix the problems that the update caused, and yeah, I haven't been in a combat zone on a planet for since I've had this graphics card, so I'm not quite sure how that is performing now, but hopefully it will have improved.
Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah, I do think in general Odyssey has been quite good, but I think there's also probably a lack of content. So once you have got all your weapons and your armor fully upgraded, then the only thing to do is basically go around and shoot people. So there's after you've done all that, there's not a lot of content that requires you to actually be on foot.
Fuel scoping.
Apart from the exploration part, which is what I'm doing now. So I originally planned to do all the on-foot stuff first and get my combat rank up to my mercenary rank up to elite, because the experience was so poor in combat zones with my old graphics card. I decided to do the exploration first, and you can see my xenobiology rank there is very low. I've only actually handed in one plant sample, which is why I'm gutted about losing all the data from what I've done so far, because that was hundreds of plant samples, and I think probably enough to get me up to elite. But yeah, I've not been to a space station for over 2 months, and you can't hand in xenobiology data at a fleet carrier. So that's yeah, that was the main issue. But yeah, hopefully by the time I complete the tour of the galaxy,
Frameshift
I
drive
will be
charging.
5-star elite on both exploration and xenobiology. It's been over a month now, since over 2 months now since I started, and I've only haven't quite completed the first arm of the galaxy, so I've got 3 more arms of the galaxy, so there's plenty more data to collect on the way. Um, yeah, so let's see how that goes.
Fuel scoping. Fuel scoping complete. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one. Engage. Fuel scoping. Fuel scoping complete. Warning, temperature critical.
So Darkmat, what did you stop playing Elite? Most of the people I know who stopped playing Elite did it because of what happened to me yesterday, and they're out exploring, and they died for some reason and lost all their data. What was that? Was that actually a no, it wasn't a no-flight world.
Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one. Engage. Fuel scoping. Fuel scoping complete. Warning, temperature critical. Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah, sorry, we didn't hear anything that I just said there. Yeah, so yeah, Elite is a bit grindy,
Four,
but
three,
with a
2, 1. Engage.
with a game that's going to keep you entertained for a long period of time, then you've got to expect a little bit of grind. I think that the games that don't have grind are very story based, and then you sort of run out of content a lot quicker.
Fuel scoping.
Yeah, so I suppose it depends whether you enjoy what you're doing when you're doing the grind.
Fuel scoping complete.
I have to say I'm quite enjoying the exploration grind at the moment,
Warning,
particularly as I'm getting
temperature
closer to the centre of the galaxy. Oh, we have found an Earth-like world. So before our scanner system, an Earth-like world right in the centre of the galaxy, which means people have been travelling backwards and forwards through here heavily, and they haven't found it. So I wasn't really expecting to find
warning, temperature
an
critical.
Earth-like world here. Right, let's just get a little bit further away from the star before we scan the system. Right, so we've got 21 planets in the system. If that is an Earth-like world, I will scan the whole system. I have to say, when they last did an update to exploration, that did sort of take a lot of the grind out of exploration. Having far more things in the galaxy to go and search for, yeah, it was made a bigger improvement to it. Because when Elite first started, really the only thing you could search for were planets, planets and black holes and stars, and again, there's not really a lot you can do with those. But yeah, they added plant life on planets, which you couldn't scan back then, or at least you didn't get exploration points for scanning them. But yeah, you could go and visit them. Now you can scan them, so now you can get out of your SLV and scan those plants. So that's got geological activity. And there's the Earth-like world. So yeah, we will definitely be scanning or mapping the whole system. And hopefully there'll be a few planets with biological life on it. Although I haven't seen one yet. I had to say another thing that made Elite more playable after you'd done the majority of the grind was when I discovered Inera. Oh, just a minute, I just got to go away for a second. Right, okay, I'm back now. I'm not going to be on the mic for a bit while I'm eating my breakfast. But if you've got any questions, I'll try and respond. So I'm not going to just talk. I'm just going to play the game for a little bit.
System scan complete. Surface scanned by 50%. Surface scan complete. Surface scanned by 50%. Surface scan complete. Surface scan by 50%. Surface scan complete. Surface scan by 50%. Surface scan complete.
Right, okay, so I can talk again. Yeah, so we are mapping the planets. So depending on how long ago it was that you stopped playing, you may not have had planet mapping in at that point. Yeah, so to map the planets, we basically need to get pretty close to them, and we just fire off a couple of probes. Yeah, so when the planet's about the size of the arc around it, yeah, you slow down. If you then go to fire the probes, it will tell us there that the efficiency target is 7 probes, which means we should be able to map the planet in less than 7 probes. My probes have expanded range, so I can normally do it in about half the recommended amount. So I will fire 4 probes in the pattern of a tetrahedron. So it's 1 straight at the front, and then 3 at the back, roughly equal distance apart. So that's the front hitting. If we now view the back, so we've got
Surface
1,
scanned by 50%.
2. Yeah, we'll get to
Surface
100%
scan
scan
complete.
just after the third one's hit. So once it gets to 90%, it suddenly jumps to 100. And that's that planet scanned. Well, again, if it's been a really long time since you played Elite, it probably didn't have the full system. What's it called? I can't remember what it's called. The where is it? Filtered spectral analyst. I'm not sure it's got another. FSS. I think it's full system scanner. Yeah, because ages ago you just need to honk the system, so you do a D-scan and you get the honk, and it will tell you how many bodies are in the system, and it would automatically put those planets onto your radar. Now, when you do the honk, you just get the same data you would have got previously, but it doesn't actually display the planets, so you don't actually know what's there until you've gone into your full system scanner, track down all the planets on the by frequency and location, zoomed in on them to get the full details of what's there. Anyway, this is a what we're heading towards now. It is like a metal planet, high metal content world. It has a moon, which is just a rocky world, and then that looks like the Earth-like world afterwards. So that'll be the one worth the money. We're passing other planets on the way. Yeah, so the problem you use in the system map is it doesn't actually plot their relative locations, it just tells you how far they are from the sun. So again, these planets could be on either side of the sun, so you could flip in backwards and forwards to visit them. I'm sure there will be a quicker route to do each system rather than just going through the planets in order on this map. But if I did that, then it would be a lot harder to track what I've already done. So yeah, this way does take a little bit longer, but it also takes a lot less brain power to try and work out what the shortest route is. It would be nice if there was a way of sort of automatically doing a sort of salesman algorithm on it to work out the shortest route between all the planets. But yeah, that's not in-game, and the time taken to sort of get the data out and do that wouldn't really save you any time in the long run. It actually looks like I'm closer to the moon, so let's go and do the moon first.
Surface scan by 50%. Surface scan complete. Surface scan by 50%. Surface scan complete.
Yeah, so I'll just quickly show you the galaxy map. So we are about here, which is on a direct route between Sol and Sagittarius A, which is why I'm very surprised to find an Earth-like world that nobody's scanned before. This, as you can see from this heat map, there's been a lot of traffic flying around this region. Yeah, so that I do find that quite surprising that yeah nobody's actually found an Earth-like in this sector. Yeah, and if you look at the about page, I think I just told you this with my mic off. If you look at the about page, there's links to the map, so you can go there and have a look for yourself. Click on the hotspots and see the screenshots from all the planets that I've landed on this tour so far. Right, so as this is an Earth-like world, I will try and find a nice place to take a screenshot. I'll just scan it quickly first on that bit. Now, I really want to have it so that the sky does seem to change quite a bit. Sometimes there's a lot of stars, sometimes there isn't.
Surface scan complete.
Let's just try and get the galaxy in the background. That was a nice nebula over there as well. Let's just see if we can get that into. So that means we'll need to be somewhere around here, I should think. And there's that nebula. Alright, let's just... Right, okay, so I'll now go and turn the camera on and try and get a nice view. Actually, I'll just turn the ship around. Get it upside down. Right, so with an anaconda, if you get the angle just right, you can make it look like a totally different ship. So yeah, if you look at it upside down, right. So I have the galaxy in view, and oh, there's the nebula as well. And it is quite hard to fly a ship when you're looking at it upside down. And alright, so that's a good position. Alright. Let's try this, see what happens. Right, so I think I'm going to use that for my screenshot. Right, so the print screen. And I'll then save that. I haven't checked yet to see if the new update of Elite fixed the problem with the screenshots. So if you press F10, it should take a screenshot and save it for you. I haven't been using that method because that produces BMPs, and you can't upload BMPs to websites. So I had to go and convert them all to PNGs or JPEGs. Actually, that's the wrong map. I want the system map. And yeah, so I'm just taking the screenshot, pasting it into Paint, which is probably the worst art package ever, but it's good enough for just copying the screenshot and saving it, which is all I'm actually doing. I'm copying it into Paint and I'm just saving it. Yeah, right. So that's the Earthlight done. So now we've got the rest of the system to go and look at. So let's see how far the rest of them are away. So I think some of them are orbiting 2 stars. Right, so that one is 16,000 light seconds, and that one is 15,000 light seconds. So not a great deal of difference in it. So I will follow them down in sequence and go to this one next.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
I've got somebody else join us. Welcome to the stream. We are touring the galaxy. We are currently in the Norma Arm sector of the galaxy, very close to the route directly from Sol to the center of the galaxy, although we are going perpendicular to that route, following a spiral arm around into the center of the galaxy. We've just scanned an Earth-like world, which is the most valuable thing to scan. Because we found an Earth-like world in this system, we are scanning the whole system. So yeah, this next planet is 16,000 light seconds away. Yeah, so we just scanned this Earth-like world, and we're now going to this gas giant. So 16,000 light seconds, that's probably going to take sort of maybe 7 or 8 minutes to get there. Right, so as that is going to take 7 or 8 minutes, let's do a quick recap over what we've been doing in the tour so far. Right, okay, so we started off in Sol. We went directly, or as about as directly as you can get, to the tip of this spiral arm. You can't go directly because this space here, there's not enough stars in it to actually get from that sector to that sector easily. So yeah, we followed that to the fleet carrier here. Then we've been following the fleet carriers back, following the spiral arm all the way around to the center of the galaxy. There's a link to this map in the About section in Twitch. You can click on any of these, link you to the YouTube videos for that sector and show you the images. And again, you can click on those to make them bigger if you want to. Yeah, so we've got all the way around the galaxy to this fleet carrier, and this fleet carrier suddenly decided to open fire on me while I was taking a screenshot, and I lost all that data up to that point. We are now here, so between this fleet carrier and this fleet carrier, and we found an Earth-like world, which is very strange, being in the center of the galaxy, between Sol and the and Sagittarius A, the black hole at the center of the galaxy. So I'm quite surprised to find an uncharted Earth-like world in that area. But yeah, that's currently what we're doing. When we've done that, we'll continue to this fleet carrier, and then we will be heading to that fleet carrier, just touching this sector for a little bit, and then as we're trying to follow the spiral arms round, we'll then go to this fleet carrier and then to the center of the galaxy, follow the other side out all the way around the galaxy to Beagle Point, and beyond to the tip of the galaxy near Beagle Point, and then I'll take a quick route from there to this fleet carrier just to include it in the tour, and then all the way to this fleet carrier in the conduit. So again, I've already been in the conduit, but as that was on the way from there to there, again all the way then to this tip, and I've followed that back to the center again, and then follow the tip out all the way around here to this tip, and then back to Sol through this sector of the galaxy, which is the only sector that I wouldn't have covered by that point. Right, so that is the main thing. So far it's just taken me 2 months and 3 days to get from Sol all the way around to here. I reckon the whole trip is going to take me approximately 9 months. Although I will stop in Colonia on the way back, and hopefully by then the new engineers for Odyssey will be in Colonia, so I'll go and collect those engineers and then continue the last sort of the last spiral arm of the galaxy back to Sol. Right, okay, we're coming up to the gas giant. So yeah, when we get from 7 seconds away from it, we'll slow down to 75% throttle. And again, as it has a ring system around it, I will try and get edge on to the rings. Actually, there's another planet, there's a moon there, so we'll try and get edge on to the rings near that moon. That way we can fire probes at the top and the bottom of it without the rings getting in the way. Alright, so I shall try and line up with the moon as well. So hopefully we'll be able to get both from the same location. Right, so yeah, so this is a 22 probe planet. So with that, what I do is I start by doing a cube pattern. So one in the middle of the front, on the left, and the right, and try and plant one right in the middle at the back, which I reckon will be about there. Right, so that's the back view. That shows us what's mapped to the back.
Surface scan by 50%.
And that was pretty damn close to the middle of the back. So right, so we've got bigger gaps on the back, so let's fire some more into the back, into those gaps. So yeah, so this is now basically firing probes into the corners of the cube. And we'll do that on the corners at the front as well. Actually, that one looks pretty well covered, so I think I'll miss that one. Alright, so let's see how that goes at the back. Alright, so yep, so there we go. So we have done that in a 22 planet probe in 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 probes, so half the amount it recommends. Also fire a few into the rings, one into the ring, to scan the ring. I'm not sure if there's more than one ring on this planet,
Surface scan complete.
but we've got one of them there. And again, because we're right next to the moon, we just need to select the moon now and fire a couple of probes into that.
Surface scan by 50%. Surface scan complete.
Right, let's see what's next to do. I think this planet had 2 moons. Or no, just the one. Right, but it does have a sister planet with 2 moons. Right, so that shouldn't be too far away as they're orbiting around each other. Again, this is another ring planet, so we've got to try and line up with the edge of the rings. Sometimes you can do it from the top if the rings aren't that close to the planet. Right, again, it looks like that moon is very close to the edge of the rings, so we may be able to get them both from the same location. Actually, let's stop and do that moon first.
Surface scan by 50%.
Right.
Surface
That
scan
in one
complete.
probe. Alright, so how many probes is this? So this is only 12, so I should be able to do that in 6. Right, so the horizontal line, well not horizontal, but the line going across the line coming out from the planet, that indicates the horizon, so if you aim at that, you're hitting the horizon.
Surface scan
And
by 50%.
if you go so that the white dot and the line are equal distance either side of that horizon line, I think that is the center of the back of the planet, which was the C, so that's where I'll just fire that last probe. You can see it orbiting around the planet. Not quite the center, but
Surface scan
good enough.
complete.
Right, so there is a ring on this system. We've got to get right on the edge of the ring. Right, I'll just go down to make sure there's not another ring.
Surface scan complete.
Yeah, it looks like it's just one ring around this planet. Right, so let's now find the other moon of this planet.
Surface scan by 50%.
Yeah, there we
Surface
go.
scan complete.
Right, and there's one more planet in orbit around the binary star. Right, so let's head off to that planet now. It's not too far away. Right, so I've got about 10-15 more minutes on this stream. So as soon as I've finished scanning this system, I'll call it a day. There's 15 more jumps before we get to the next fleet carrier, so that'll be sort of 20 minutes to get to the next fleet carrier after we leave this system. So I'm not going to be able to get that in, so I'll call it a day when I've finished scanning this system. So we can see this planet, it's got rings, but there's a huge gap between the planet and the rings. So that should be enough space for me to actually map the planet without actually hitting the rings. And then I could just launch a couple into the rings as well. It looks like there may be 2 rings there, so let's try and get the smaller ring as well.
Surface scan complete.
So we've got a few mining hotspots on there.
50%.
And there goes the second ring.
Surface scan complete.
Alright, so I've not quite got the whole of the planet yet. There's a little bit of a gap on the back. Well, it's not really very clear from that where it is and where it isn't. Right, that covered 1% of wherever the gap is. I can't see a gap on there. Is that right down the middle? Let's just fire them all again. I mean, it's only 1 efficiency bonus. For me, that looks like the whole planet is mapped. There we go.
Surface scan complete.
Right, I also got the efficiency bonus as well, despite the fact that free probes hit the planet after getting it. Right, okay, so that is this planet mapped. Let's now go down to this one, so I'm not sure how far that will be. It's only 1,000 light seconds, so well, nearly 2,000 light seconds, so that is just going to be a couple of minutes to get there. Yeah, so these planets don't have atmospheres, so there's a very low chance that there will be plant life on there. There are various forms of plant life that will exist on planets without atmospheres. Anemones is one of them. These is other things that look like duck feet. But
Surface scan
yeah,
by 50%.
generally speaking, if you're after plant life, you go for a planet with
Surface
an
scan
atmosphere. Again, they could have geology on there, geological activity, so geysers, ephemerals, vents, various geological things, including lava spouts, where you just get big plumes of lava coming out there. Geysers are very interested on a low G planet. If you drive over them in an SRV, it can shoot you off into space, which I did once. I managed to get up to about 100 kilometers high, although not into orbit.
Surface scan by 50%. Surface scan complete.
Yeah, so nothing on that one. Right, so we'll map this planet and the next one, and then I'll call that the end of the stream. A very white planet with dark bits. Alright, I've just fired 4 probes into that, which I've probably got away with 2.
Surface scan by 50%. Surface scan complete.
Alright, and the last planet in the system. Right, my avatar's been stuck still for the last 20 minutes. Let's wake that up again for the end of the stream. Again, I've just shot 4 probes into a planet. I probably could have done with 2.
Surface scan by 50%. Surface scan complete.
Right, okay, so that's it for this stream. Right, so thanks everybody for watching. Thank you, Dark Matter, and thanks for the follow, Dark Matter. I will be continuing the Tour of the Galaxy stream. I don't know when the next one will be, but yeah, do keep tuned. And if you do want to learn more about the tour, have a look at the About section in Twitch. That will show you or give you a link to the map of the galaxy, so you can access all the screenshots I've taken so far, and also give you an idea of the route that we're taking. And also there's a link in Twitch to the notice board, so if you have any questions or want to post any suggestions of places to visit, that's the place to do that. Right, so okay, thanks everybody, and see you next time.